Alright, I'm Wayward, and this is Grey Goo. We have today a 1 versus 1 between Akuji, the purple goo, who is spawning at the bottom, and Kreser, the red beta, spawning at the top. We have Akuji going to the center. Looks like he's going to go for these 4 delightful, for the goo anyway, catalyst vents right in the middle of the map. It's like they were made for goo. In fact, I think a goo versus a goo on this map would be very interesting, and I may have to try to track one down later. I'd love to see that. Up here, we have a double factory, 1 refinery build. I think that's very smart. This is a small map, and looks like we have Akuji spotted here by our enterprising commando. Don't get eaten, commando. We still have some use in you. So Beta like to go heavy commandos quite often, and I think that's probably what we're going to see since we've got these 2 factories coming out. But let's see. Typically, you'd see the commando win this out, yeah. So, doing a decent job of keeping the goo on its toes. Although he's not going to be able to make anything really major happen unless he gets some more out, which, of course, he's doing currently. This drover is patiently letting itself heal to try to take out this commando, and Mama over here is biding her time, of course. Alright, so we've got these first 2 commandos coming out to help their brother, and we have a small protean up here, which I think is a very good choice. Okay, wall segment. I think that's smart to counteract any early aggression from the goo player. This is, like I said before, a fairly small rush distance map. Kind of small in general. Get that commando out of there. Don't let him die in vain. This early in the map, losing a commando is not what you want to have. But losing that initial drover is probably worse, in my humble estimation. It tends to take goo a little longer to get units out. This is some very good spacing by Kreser, and Akuji doesn't seem to know what to do, at least by my account. Oh, got that commando. Very nice. He was just biding his time. Okay, so we've got these 2 proteans. That's actually a formidable force against these commandos, so we'll have to see what both players are up to. Looks like we're going to see some aggression from Akuji. This is a good map for goo aggression, since again it's kind of small. But these wall segments, I think, are going to be useful. Okay, yeah, we still have some commandos coming out. We're going to have to try to dodge those proteans. Okay, nicely defended, I think, by Kreser. Akuji is very wisely pulling back, having filled up his Mama to the brim with potential hit points, including the catalyst wall here. That was nice. He kind of just swung by that on his way out. It's a nice spot for goo right there, too. Okay, so we have another refinery. Very good, because we're soon going to see another mother. And my kind of rule of thumb, and I'm sure much better players than I have a more formal system than this, is basically 1 refinery per mother on average. You want to have, if your opponent has 10 mothers, you want to have 10 refineries. Okay, so we've got these 2 mothers dancing back and forth. We've got this proteans chasing this commander down for apparently no good reason, and some additional paths being opened up here. Looks like Akuji, in fact, is going to be in the tournament tomorrow, so congrats, Akuji. I actually hadn't heard of him before, and I feel bad about that. I love this game, but I haven't played it in a while. I've been off the gaming circuit in general for about a month, unfortunately. I'm working on a mod of my own, which is not important to this, and also have, unfortunately, been having some difficulties in the family that, again, are not important to this. So it's nice to see some good, fun, intense Grey Goo matches going on. Maybe he's scouting for expansions. I'm not quite sure. Let's go to the Army tab. 14 commandos and counting. 3 factories pumping out commandos. He may want to get an additional refinery soon, which I think is what this small hub is for, to maybe produce refineries off of. Okay, so Akuji is on 4 mothers, which is a good, solid, safe number to be on, although I would expect him to continue trying to increase that as much as possible before starting unit production. Although, man, with all those commandos, and we got a little graphical glitch there, I think, that those rocks aren't there, but they still look like they are. May have to convert these guys into drovers shortly. And this mother may want to pull. There we go. Nice splitting, very good by Kreser. And more factories. I don't think that's the best choice. Personally, I think it's good to aggressively expand your economy. Oh, which he has done. I completely missed that. So never mind. Very good by Kreser hiding an eco expansion up here, even from me. And this is a strength of the beta I don't see utilized very often. The fact that they can just build anywhere, whatever they want anywhere. Not quite as mobile as the GU, of course, but they have the option to build whatever they want. They can. I've seen proxies. And I've seen, of course, something like this, which is just kind of for economic purposes. Got a little mother hunting squad down here, kind of trying to track down and corner those mothers. This one is possibly going to go down if Kreser micros well. Oh my god, look at that. That's actually a nice little way to keep those mothers off of the geysers, but that's a lot of drovers. So very good play by Akuji, knows what he's doing. I would have maybe produced Radiance instead of these Striders for the scouting. But if nothing else, this is some nice harassment, but we'll have to see what... It's very hard to kill mothers with these small amounts of commandos, and it's going to get nipped in the bud by these two avenging Proteans. So... well played, Akuji. And this army is kind of out of position, which it looks like Kreser is going to try to capitalize on. We do have a Predator out, and looks like more on the way. So let's see what happens. Let's see what he does. This looks like a strike force to me. It's moving as though it were a strike force. And another economic expansion down here. Brilliant. This depending on the expansion of Akuji, this could be bad, but very nice play by Kreser. This is what you want to see a beta do. This 100% perfect beta play. Of course, this army is going to be melted in short order, as is this one. So Akuji is still looking very good in the army department. Both players are playing, I think very well. It's just the sort of play I would want to exemplify were I any good at this game at all. Which, of course, I'm really not. I don't play it nearly enough, and even if I did, I don't know if my play would be up to these levels. Okay, anyway, enough of the self-deprecation, and back to the analysis. Not too much going on right now, just some army shuffling by the GU player. Nice little... stalling tactic, I guess, there by Kreser. This is the play of players that not only know where they want to be on the map, but they have an innate understanding or appreciation of the game's economy, so they know they have a good game sense, I think is the StarCraft term. Okay, a bit of a lull. It's very hard for GU to deal with masked up commanders, especially if they're being microed well like these are. Oh, and that mother's out of position. They'll possibly be able to save her. Yeah, Kreser doesn't have air yet. That mother is battered but not beaten. We have another army coming out. These tier 2 tank units are very hard for Goo to deal with in any quantities. Striders don't hold up well against them, as I'm sure we will see shortly. Ooh. Oh, let's look at our upgrades. Yep, Commando Detonation Pack, very, very good upgrade against the Goo. As we see here. As we see there. Yeah, this is this strategy is tailor-made to hurt the Goo player. There's no really good answer to this. It's just solid. Oh my god, another one? Very nice. This is almost what you see a StarCraft player do, where they send out an attack force to divert your attention, and then they do something on the back end. So this is very solid play. And Akuji is kind of being backed into a corner because he knows that when these commandos die, they're gonna do some awful damage to his units. The commandos are being used kind of like a combination of StarCraft Marine and Baneling. There's no really good answer to it, unfortunately. And with these Predators providing a good solid backbone to the force, it's really just kind of evil. Oh, and we've found this expansion down here, and are eating that. Although, of course, we do have this one down here too to compensate, but it's never good to lose a refinery, of course. Because, again, they're quite expensive. It's kind of like losing a mother Goo. Let's check our structures tab. 6 refineries. You automatically know if a player builds more than 5 refineries, they're at least decent. A lot of players seem to just stop at 5 refineries for some reason, myself included. I have trouble remembering to build more than 7 or 8. And now, of course, we're down to 5 because the space got cleaned up. Just get on the catalyst vent. Endless stream of detonating commandos. Just climb up the mountain. Climb up the mountain, little mama. There we go. Maybe too late for you. Nope, you're safe for now. But overall map control is about the same. You do have these mothers all over the map, but if you look at the projection, those blue dots are about the same area, I think, as the Goo. Man, those detonating commandos just hold their own against drovers very well. And Striders aren't cost efficient to mass produce against commandos. This is a tough spot for the Goo player to be in because, of course, their tier 2 is highly time dependent. They've got to sit there for a while and not build anything to get their high tech units. It'll turn into anything. This is like a surgical knife designed to hit the Goo's weakness. Quite rough. We're doing pretty well on both sides here. We've got another expansion coming down up here in the corner. Using that beta racial advantage. Let's go to our army tab. Excuse me. So definitely still more units for the beta, but you kind of expect that. Goo tend to have fairly small individual numbers of units because, of course, Proteans count as structures. You can see we've got 7 Proteans. Oh, turn into something. Turn into anything. Striders, drovers, anything. Okay, we're getting some good Strider numbers here, a decent critical mass of Striders to deal with these awful exploding commandos that there's no real good answer for. Ah, evil. Just evil. And of course these units that can fire on the move are death to Striders. Whew. Those are pretty even forces too. That's just... yeah, that's bad. And of course, once a Protean turns into a unit, it takes a couple seconds for those new units to heal themselves. So This is a tough position for Akuji, and a very good position for Kreser. Another base being cleaned up here, very nice. Got action in all corners of the map, and unfortunately a lot of it is in Kreser's favor at the moment. And looks like Kreser has pretty much cleaned up all of the units of Akuji, and is going to start hunting mothers. Not a position you want to be in as the Goo. Lost this mother with the refinery still intact. Although we do have a nice big blob of proteins here that could turn into Striders or something. You turn them into Striders, yes, there we go. And those endless lines of commandos. It's just... That's frustration for the Goo right there. This should be easy to kill. This should be relatively meaningless deaths, but they're not. They're painful. Every one of them. A little more than a pinprick. Oh. Just like Banelings. Just like Banelings versus Zealots. You feel like they should do so well, but they don't. I was in a previous match that I cast, I was actually speaking down about the mass commando strategy. Now my eyes have been opened to the benefits of using them. The beta is actually my least favorite race and the one I'm least familiar with overall. I tend to prefer humans and Goo. But yeah, if I was in the Goo player's shoes, I would be tearing my my hair out because there's just no good solution. This Mama's gonna go down pretty handily. No, Kreser has held off. You know, Striders are pretty much the only answer here. You've got all these mothers, but no units. Now, what's a Goo player to do? We've got the Seeker there for Dwellers, which would be a good, fairly good temporary solution at least. Just units everywhere. That's the fun part about watching a Grey Goo match between good players. You don't just have one battle, you've got lots of little ones. Okay, that was cleaned up, but there's just endless commandos. I see 8 refineries now. The Goo players tend to get more resources. It's kind of rough to watch as a Goo player. Fairly low tech match overall, but that one tech that was researched pretty much made the match for Kreser. Yeah, that's rough. From an analytical standpoint, there are a couple things the Goo player could have done, but as to how practical they are, I can't say. Crescents, but you'd probably have to have 6 of them at least to handle these quantities of commandos. You could do bastions. Putting a bastion in the force would help divert the commando slightly, although the position of the commando almost matters more than what it's attacking when it's got the explosive upgrade. Yeah, that's a tricky proposition. It's kind of like watching a late-stage Zerg player try to deal with those waves of Terran Marines, except the Marines explode and they die. But yeah, those batch-produced Goo units just have trouble keeping up with that trickle of exploding commandos.